Picture this. You're in a crowded bookstore. You both reach for the same copy of Pride and Prejudice. Your hands touch, the music swells, and Hollywood insists you've just met your soulmate. Cute, right? But here's the problem. Out of 8 billion people on Earth, the idea that destiny shoved you into aisle 3 at exactly the right second? Statistically, that's nonsense. And yet, people do fall in love. They stay together for decades. They swear they've found the one. So what's really going on here? Is love cosmic fate, or is it something much stranger hiding inside your brain? There's this comedian, Tim Minchin, who has a whole song about it. He basically says, "Look, I adore my wife. We met as teenagers. But do I actually believe that out of every single woman on Earth, my one true match just happened to be in the suburbs of Perth, Australia? No way." And he's right. The whole soulmate idea is romantic, but also kind of absurd. Love isn't cosmic GPS guiding you to the one person with your name on their forehead. It's more like cosmic improv. Hollywood wants you to think your soulmate is the barista who spelled your name wrong on your latte, or the stranger who bumps into you and makes you drop your books in slow motion. That's not destiny. That's just clumsiness with better lighting. You fall in love not because they're objectively the best option in the universe, but because they're in the tiny slice of people you actually meet, vibe with, and don't immediately block on Instagram. And that's why it feels so magical. Because inside your very limited dating pool, the odds of finding someone who clicks with you in dozens of small ways is already like winning the lottery. Let's break it down. Even if you had, say, 100 realistic dating opportunities in your life, it's impossible to test every single one like you're auditioning contestants for The Bachelor. Mathematicians even modeled this problem. They call it the secretary problem. The formula says, reject the first 37% of candidates, and then commit to the next person who's better than everyone you've seen before. Statistically, that maximizes your odds of success. But imagine trying to apply that formula to dating apps. Sorry, Jessica, you're within the first 37%, so math law says I must reject you. Congratulations, you've just invented the worst pickup line in history. Because love isn't a math exam. You don't date people in tidy order with scorecards. You don't sit there thinking, well, candidate number 12 had great jokes but mediocre dental hygiene. Candidate 13 owns a dog, which scores extra points. Candidate 14, oh wait, she thinks pineapple on pizza is a crime. Automatic fail. Real life doesn't work like that. You meet people at the wrong time. You get back together with people you swore you were done with. Sometimes you fall in love with the person who accidentally spills their latte on you. Humans don't optimize. We improvise. And thank God for that, because otherwise dating would feel like filing taxes. And that's why asking your partner, "Why do you love me?" is such a trap. If they answer with a neat bullet list of reasons, it's not love. Love, like faith, doesn't run on logic. Philosopher Slavoj Žižek once joked, if a Christian said, "I believe in Jesus because I researched all religions and decided this one had the best arguments," they'd basically be excommunicated. Faith doesn't work like that. And neither does love. Sure, you can say you love their smile, their eyes, their laugh, but those things only matter because you already love them. To someone else, the same smile might look goofy, the same laugh might be annoying. Love isn't about objective traits. It's about how those traits trigger a storm of chemicals in your brain, which is why your best friend doesn't understand what you see in your partner, and you don't understand what they see in theirs. So what kicks that storm into motion? Usually something simple: attraction. Not Hollywood attraction, biology attraction. Across cultures, people tend to prefer certain signals of health: symmetrical faces, certain body ratios, clear skin, confident movement. Your brain is basically running a subconscious health check. But looks aren't everything. Smell plays a huge role, even if we don't realize it. In one famous experiment, women sniffed t-shirts worn by different men, and they consistently preferred the scent of men whose immune system genes were most different from theirs. Why? Because biology is trying to build super babies with diverse immune defenses. Even eye contact matters. Strangers who stared into each other's eyes for just a few minutes often reported a weird surge of intimacy, even attraction. So if you lock eyes with someone across a bar and feel a spark, that's not fate. That's your brain on steroids. And then there's sound and touch. Women tend to like deeper voices. Men often like softer ones. A reassuring touch, a certain laugh, the way someone carries themselves. These tiny signals can trigger cascades of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. All of it is your biology whispering, hey, this one might be worth sticking around for. Once the spark hits, things get wild. Falling in love isn't just an emotion, it's a full-on neurological hijacking. Your brain's reward system lights up like Times Square. Dopamine surges, making you crave the next text, the next kiss, the next anything. Adrenaline spikes, so your palms sweat and your heart races like you just sprinted up a flight of stairs. Cortisol, the stress hormone, shoots up too, which is why early love feels both magical and completely exhausting. And here's the kicker, your serotonin, the calm, balanced chemical, actually dips. That's why you can't stop thinking about them. You're basically stuck in a feedback loop of obsession. Basically, your brain on love looks a lot like your brain on hard drugs. Which is why new couples act like they're in a Netflix teen drama, texting until 3 a.m., forgetting to eat, crying over a 2-minute delay in replies. Love literally functions like an addiction, which makes sense. Evolution wanted you laser-focused on one partner long enough to bond, not wandering off the second someone else winked at you. But the chemistry doesn't stay that way forever. If it did, none of us would get anything done. After a couple years, the brain chemistry mellows. Dopamine stops flooding your system like a fire hose. Instead, oxytocin, the cuddle hormone, and vasopressin, the loyalty hormone, start to dominate. These make long-term bonding possible. That's why couples who've been together for years often say, the butterflies are gone, but the comfort is better. The drama fades, but the stability feels like home. Early love is fireworks and butterflies. Long-term love is arguing over what to watch on Netflix and realizing you've both been rewatching The Office for the 6th time. And weirdly, that feels better. And there are health perks. Long-term partners often show stronger immune systems, lower stress, and even longer lifespans. Love may start as a chaotic high, but it matures into a biological life preserver. Of course, love also messes with your perception. Ever wonder why people in relationships can't see the obvious flaws their friends see? It's because those love hormones literally dial down the parts of your brain responsible for critical thinking. Your partner's bad habits either vanish from your awareness or they start to look weirdly charming. Oh, he leaves wet towels everywhere? That's just quirky. There's even research on how small flaws can make people more lovable. Psychologists call it the pratfall effect. If someone is super competent but makes a clumsy mistake, spills coffee, trips on the stairs, people often like them more. Perfection intimidates, flaws humanize. So yes, sometimes it's not despite the quirks, but because of them that you fall deeper in love. All of this leads us back to the big question. Is there really one perfect person out there for you? The math says no, the biology says no, philosophy says no. But here's the twist. You don't need the one. What you need is someone good enough in the best sense of the phrase. Someone whose quirks, timing, and chemistry line up with yours enough to make a life together worthwhile. There are millions of possible matches who could make you happy. The one you choose becomes the one, not because of destiny, but because you decide they are. And that's actually more romantic, because it means love isn't about fate handing you perfection. It's about choosing someone imperfect and building perfection together. So maybe there isn't a single perfect person written in the stars. Maybe love is less about destiny and more about what you decide to build together. But here's where I throw it back to you. Do you believe in soulmates, or do you think love is just two people making the leap and saying, yep, you'll do? Drop your take in the comments. I really want to see how split we are on this one. And hey, if this made you rethink your last awkward Tinder date, smash that like button, subscribe for more science meets life deep dives, and share this with a friend who swears they've found the one. Because who knows, maybe their soulmate is actually just hanging out in the comments section.